Hey everybody, wanted to make this beta raid 4.3 video for you guys. We're looking at the top characters of the various origin traits, as well as what I think are the best hybrid teams to tackle the actual lanes in the beta raid. I'll show you some footage of the teams in action, as well as the boss nodes, because of course that's going to be the more difficult part of this raid. So without further ado, let's get into it. And let's start off by looking at skill characters. Now the top 5 characters are characters you might have built up already if you're at the end game. The bottom 4, well I guess minus Fury, you'll probably have Fury built, but those 3 new characters are going to take over the skill character origins for raids once they get released and you get to build them up. But for now, Red Guardian's great with that on-spawn taunt and defense up. He really lets you get the ball rolling. So many minions in the beta raid that Zemo really takes care of them. Gamora, Kestrel, what can you say about them? Absolute powerhouses, very fast characters, can clear boards in the blink of an eye. Night Nurse, best healer for skill in the game, bar none. There is no debate on that. The bottom 3, we'll see. I have used Sam Wilson in the node now. He was very small. I didn't use him with Sharon Carter, but he got to take 1 turn before Gamora and Kestrel cleared the board anyway, so I don't see his viability just yet. Next we have the tech characters. Tech is, in my opinion, the weakest of the origin traits. The 3 on the left I use. So Doom, Kestrel, Nebula. Nebula as a skirmisher does a lot in those skill tech lanes. Boosting the Gamora, doing assists, making your strikers pop off. She's great, but you'll see that. The top 3, or sorry, the 3 on the right, not great, kind of the worst, or the best of the worst. Shuri with that defense up is okay, but she can get absolutely clocked out. Ultron at 3 red stars might be okay. A lot of us will never know because it's going to take too long to get those red stars. Doc Ock, he can do some good control stuff. I don't think his damage is that great, and I have him at 6 red stars. He can heal you a bunch, but he doesn't stop the enemy from giving you that big damage, so getting one shot is a possibility. For that reason, I don't use him. Now we got Mystic characters. So the Mystic, trifecta is going to be Thanos, Ebony Maw, plus one of the 3 characters we have in the middle here for that energy battery. You really want your Ebony beside your Thanos because his cooldowns are super long. If you don't have Hela built, I wouldn't build her up for this. Instead, I would use Silver Surfer. If you don't have Adam Warlock, don't worry. In the nodes, you can put in skill characters, or Mutant, or whatever else is with him, and you'll be fine. If you use Thanos, Ebony, Surfer, you're going to be fine on this raid. And of course, Doom can slide in there, do a lot of work. What I would say is be careful when using Doom. Make sure you have his ultimate ready for the boss nodes. Next, we have Mutant. Now, of course, I'm going to recommend full XMen. I use them in both raids. I love them in war. They clear out anything mutant related that you need to do. They're great. There is another train of thought, though, the Dad Bros in place of Iceman and Kitty. It'll absolutely work for this raid. Your turn meter is going to be off the wall. You'll blow through everything. So you can go that route if you choose. Now for bio, of course, guys, you want to use the symbiotes. If you don't have the symbiotes built, build them up because they're needed in so many places, from Dark Dimension to the Doom Raid, Beta, Alpha for those city nodes, the Gold Challenge. You're going to need your symbiotes eventually, guys. Build them up. Nothing is too much to put on your symbiotes, maybe minus, gold promo credits. Now let's look at the skill tech team that I use from left to right. Red Guardian, Night Nurse, Gamora, Kestrel, and Nebula. And just look at the absolute speed of this this destruction. Now the skill tech nodes are early on in the raid, so the enemy teams are very, very easy in comparison, which is why I don't think that new Secret Avengers team is going to be necessary for the beta raids. The teams that you have, or rather the skill characters you have built up already, will be more than enough. So there you go. Now let's look at skill Mystic team. You can pretty much use the same team you just used and slot in Thanos instead of Nebula, energy battery, your Gamora, and your Kestrel, and you'll rip through these nodes very quickly. You're not going to be in any trouble. Just don't taunt with your Thanos because you won't have defense up. But if you're like me, you're going to want to prep for a boss node. So on one of those nodes, throw in your Doom, Surfer, Ebony, Thanos. You don't have to use Hela. You can use Kestrel in there. And just get your cooldowns ready for the boss node. So here you go. I will use Hela on mine just because she's really big. My Kestrel is obviously just as big. Could easily use her too. So very weak node. I ability blocked the hand sentry, but that was absolutely wasted because he's dead. Again, these nodes are very early on in the raid, so they're very weak characters. You can probably hold on to all of your cooldowns if you so choose. So there you go. Another quick one, just over a minute. Now let's look at the Biomystic team. Symbiotes, guys. Don't mess around. Just throw your symbiotes at it. Hit auto. Same with Biotech. Throw your symbiotes on it. Start the node to hit auto. Make sure you end with your cooldowns up, though. Because where the symbiotes struggle is if they start a node without all their control effects up. Yeah, it can be pretty hairy on nodes with early damage bursters like a Korath or Winter Soldier. You could find your anti-venom gets absolutely laid out in this level of difficulty if you're not super built up. Like my team's 700k, I think my anti-venom's 140k, and I've still seen them get absolutely just yeeted off the map. So be careful with that. Now you notice this fight takes pretty long in comparison to the ones we saw before. I think it's going to take about half the raid time. So you want to be careful with your symbiotes to not time out. Mine are around 700k and they're taking half the time, right? So there you go. We finally get through it. And because they take so long, guys, if I have to choose between the Astonishing X-Men and the Symbiotes and the Mutant Bio team, I'm taking the Astonishing X-Men. And again, for Mutant Mystics, I'm taking the Astonishing X-Men. I'm not going to bother burning my Mystic cooldowns, and same with my Mutant Tech. I'm not going to bother burning my Tech cooldowns. We're going to stay with the Astonishing X-Men. They do not have the same problem the Symbiotes have on start. You don't have to have any cooldowns up. With the basic from Iceman, you get slows, then his passive weakens them. You got blinds from Jubilee. You got buff peels from everybody else. Bishop's cooldowns are so low, it's kind of hard to imagine you're going to have that problem very often. And not to mention the assist mechanic that they have. You're going to get assists from Iceman, you get assists from Jubilee, and you can probably set your enemy up for being controlled without having to use any abilities whatsoever. You see here, the enemy didn't even get a turn. I could have put this on auto and been done much faster without having to worry about being prepped for the next lane. So let's talk about the boss nodes. Mystic, Tech, Sinister 6. We're going to do the first one here. You'll notice, guys, I didn't do a Mystic Tech section. Just use this team that I'm using for the boss nodes. The same thing. I don't use any Sinister 6 on the boss nodes. So you see my Thanos was pretty low. He was susceptible to getting killed by that vulture there, but I got lucky, I suppose. I don't remember why he was low there, but that shouldn't normally be the case. So we didn't use the Doom ults. One, because it wasn't up. Two, because it wasn't necessary. And you see Kestrel's just doing her job. We use the Doom special there. The Kestrel getting the energy from Thanos is just absolutely crazy against the enemy. They really can't do much to stop this from happening. It's there. She got more energy. Her special is right back up again, and she's just going to crush it. So now we're doing the boss node. The boss node, I should say. Now I'm going to whiff this ability block because that lieutenant will be dead. We're going to open up with our Doom ultimate here on this boss node. And what you want to do is you just really want to beat up this Mysterio. He's the big boss. He's got boosted health and damage. Taking him out makes it a lot easier. You see I make a little mistake because I'm so nonchalant with this team. It really just does crush it. That I actually let Minerva bring him back awkwardly. So we give Minerva a bunch of speed there rather than killing her. We give everyone defense down. Mysterio comes back. But Ebony's going to rewind everybody. And he's going to have his rewind up, I think, already by next turn. Because you see with these defense downs and Kestrel doing her thing, Thanos is just a crazy battery. And without a Greg to soak up all this ability energy, your Kestrel and your Ebony are getting the full benefit of it. So there you go. This is the last wave. See, Ebony had his ult up again already, and we absolutely crushed it. Not very hard raid, guys. This is probably the easiest of the 3 Greek raids. These teams should help carry you through it if you have any of these characters built up. They don't need to be nearly as big as mine. You saw how easy it was for me. Anywhere between 500 to 600k is going to be more than okay. With level 80 and maybe gear tier 14 with the right T4s, that is more attainable than you might think. But anyway, guys, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Hope you're happy, having fun, and I'll come back with another video before you know it. Until then, peace.